There is no place like Earth, but billions of years ago there may have been. Venera 8, a Soviet atmospheric space probe and lander, scoped out the surface of our planetary neighbor, Venus, 50 years ago on March 27, 1972. It was the second spaceship to land safely on the planet. In this video, we'll take a look at everything you need to know about Elon Musk's lander probe and what it found on Venus. Surprisingly, despite our inability to view the planet's surface from space, Venera 8 made some eye-opening discoveries about visibility on Venus' surface and provided vital geochemical data that supports the planet's designation as Earth's sister. Many people consider Mars to be Earth's sibling, despite the fact that it is 34 million miles away. However, Venus is 25 million miles closer to Earth at its closest point in its orbit. Earth and Venus are also roughly the same size and mass, whereas Mars is almost half the size of Earth. Venus is often referred to as our sister planet due to its size, mass, density, and volume similarities to our own. Both planets are thought to have formed 4.5 billion years ago from a condensing nebulosity, and they are thought to have formed simultaneously. And look at how Venus is so different from Earth. According to Musk, Venus lacks surface water and has a poisonous, thick atmosphere composed almost entirely of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid clouds. The atmospheric pressure on Venus's surface is more than 90 times that of the Earth at sea level. Venus' surface temperature is the highest in the solar system, at 477 degrees Celsius. This high temperature is the result of a disastrous greenhouse effect caused by the high concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Because the atmosphere prevents incident sunlight from radiating into space, the surface temperature rises by more than 202 degrees Celsius. The rotation of Venus is the final distinction between the two planets. The first difference is that its axis of rotation is inclined at 177.36 degrees, whereas Earth's is inclined at 23.5 degrees. Because of Venus' retrograde rotation, which moves from east to west, the Sun rises in the west and sets in the east. A sidereal day on Venus lasts 243 Earth days, demonstrating the planet's slow rotation. This is made even longer by the fact that a Venusian year is only 224.7 Earth days long. While Elon Musk ponders Mars colonization, a NASA scientist is suggesting a 200-year construction project that would result in Venus colonization. Alex R. Howe, an astrophysicist at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, has published a draft paper titled Cloud Continents: Terraforming Venus Efficiently by Means of a Floating Artificial Surface that details an interplanetary infrastructure project that will allow human life to flourish on the Sun's second planet. Howe envisions taming Venus's hostile environment by expanding the Cloud City concept to cloud continents, building an entire artificial surface floating in the upper atmosphere. According to Howe, this could be done far more efficiently than other proposed methods for terraforming the surface of Venus. Howe's cloud continents would rise 30 miles above the planet's surface and completely cover it, while acknowledging that a surface made as a single piece will not be able to withstand these wind forces over thousands. Howe believed that success could be achieved by using large interlocking hexagonal tiles, a few tens of meters thick, with the joints between them providing the slack to resist the wind forces. Howe estimated a completion time of 200 years as an extreme best-case scenario, adding that it would require substantial development of technology to be possible at all. He did, however, point out one minor stumbling block. All of the materials required for such an effort have been demonstrated in the laboratory, but they cannot yet be manufactured on an industrial, let alone planetary scale, he said. Because the geoengineering techniques involved would be vastly more efficient on Earth, or even Mars, it will be a long time before we have reason to turn them to Venus rather than apply them at home. Earth and Venus appear to have been twin sisters at some point in their histories. According to a 2016 paper by NASA scientist Michael Way and his team, Venus may have had water until 700 million years ago. If this is the case, could Venus's current state be indicative of Earth's future? That is not to say that Earth and Venus do not have differences, knowledge gained largely as a result of the Soviet Union's study of Venus. Trends in space exploration have shifted away from Venus's hot and thick atmosphere and toward Mars' colder and thinner atmosphere. There hasn't been a lander sent to the surface of Venus since the Soviet Union launched Vega 2 in 1985. Venus is Earth's sister across the board. Not twin sister, but sisters, says Gregory Shelnut, distinguished professor of geochemistry at National Taiwan Normal University. The Soviet Union advanced in the space race by exploring Venus between 1961 and 1983, launching 28 spacecraft as part of its Venera program. Not only was Venera 8 the second man-made object to land on Venus, but it was also the first fully successful landing on another planet. Venera 7, launched 2 years before, was the first partially successful landing on another planet. However, a parachute failure caused the lander to fall into free fall, causing Venera 7 to roll over after first touching down, severely damaging the lander and preventing it from sharing continuous, high-quality data. Venera 8 was launched on March 27, 1972, with the intention of measuring Venus's atmosphere and surface. The journey to the planet took 118 days. The section of Venera 8 designed to descend through the atmosphere to the surface was outfitted with a refrigeration system to keep the equipment running as long as possible. This is because surface temperatures on Venus can exceed the melting point of lead during the day. Venera 8 was equipped with a gamma-ray spectrometer, a gas analyzer, an altimeter, a photometer for measuring light, pressure and temperature sensors, and a radio transmitter. Venera 8 was designed to validate Venera 7's measurements of Venus' atmosphere, which, despite landing complications, managed to record that the atmosphere was 97% carbon dioxide. It also measured a surface temperature of 887 degrees Fahrenheit and a pressure of 9.0 MPa. These measurements confirmed that there is no water on Venus's surface and that it is not a habitable environment for humans. Venus, too, lacks a magnetic field, or if it does, it is very weak. This is due to the surface of Venus approaching the Curie temperature. The Curie temperature is the temperature at which a material loses its magnetic properties. The measurements taken by Venera 7 were confirmed by Venera 8, but due to its relatively successful landing, Venera 8's photometer revealed something unexpected. Despite the fact that it was impossible to see through the hazy Venusian atmosphere to the planet's surface, visibility on the planet's surface was comparable to that of Earth on a cloudy day, with visibility of about 1 kilometer in each direction. Clouds were spotted in the sky at a high altitude. Engineers working on the Venera project realized it would be possible to take photographs on the surface after Venera 8 landed. So, in 1975, Venera 9 not only successfully landed, but it also became the first lander to photograph the surface of a planet other than Earth. More than 1/3 of the 30 space missions that have successfully flown by or orbited Venus to date have been part of the former Soviet Union's Venera series of robotic probes. The Soviet program established several firsts, including the first probe to enter the atmosphere of a planet other than Earth, the first spacecraft to land softly on another planet, and the first missions to return sounds and images from another planet's surface. Roscosmos, Russia's Federal Space Corporation, is currently developing the first new Venera mission since the Soviet Union's demise. Venera D, which is scheduled to launch in 2029, will include an orbiter and a lander, and will serve as a model for future Venus missions. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. Subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you with another interesting video.